some clips. So I wanted to do this really bad. So Ben Shapiro, or as Sam Cedar likes to call him, the Pope of the Jews, because he gets to decide who's a Jew and who isn't. I don't know. He's a weird guy. Anyway,
So weird.
there's a show on YouTube called Jubilee, and some of them are good. And they have people on, and they do different things. And this one is where they have someone who's a professional debater or somebody who debates on YouTube or something, like one of those debate bro kind of guys. And they'll face like 25 college kids or 25, Republicans or 25 Democrats or whatever it is. So this is one Republican, Ben Shapiro, against 25 Harris voters. That's what this is. Now, Ben Shapiro got started as he's like the big debate guy. But what everybody forgets is he would go to these college campuses and sandbag these kids. And he's got the camera and he's got the mic, so he can cut them off whenever he wants, and he can edit it later to make himself look better, which is what he used.
So he may or may not have actually been winning much of anything.
No, but I think he bought the image, because he goes on this, and whatever, it's like an hour and 40 minutes he does this, and he gets to list the topic, and then whoever gets to the chair first, it's like musical chairs, gets to debate him on the topic. And he does this, and every single one of these people that got up and debated him kicked the shit out of him. And it was bad. Now, I want to start with this first one. So the issue is about trans people. Now, Ben Shapiro's company, the Daily Wire, they did a movie called Lady Ballers, which we covered, where they make fun of trans people. They've done several documentaries about how trans people are mentally ill and unstable. They've done nothing but attack trans people for the last 5 or 6 years. That's their whole book. I mean, that's like half their business, is attacking trans people and getting paid for it. So that's what this first one's
about. That's a lot of energy being pumped into something they don't have any reason to, quite frankly, care about. I'm not even trying to be insensitive when I say that, but like, I don't know how it impacts any of their lives.
And it's not really an issue that most voters care about. But that's what they did. So they've done nothing but attack.
I don't know that anyone's changing their vote on that, unless potentially, you come out sounding like a Nazi,
Well, the other thing is this, is if you're a single issue voter and your issue is trans people in sports, let me tell you, the government doesn't control what the rules are in sports. Usually the sports leagues do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really within the government's reach so much either. So it would be a weird thing to choose as your single voting issue.
Right. And well, it's like they did ask Trump about, like, well, what are you going to do about trans women in sports? And he's like, I'm just going to ban it. It's like, yeah, because in Article 2 of the Constitution, it says the president's duties are to monitor the rules for every JV volleyball team in America. I mean, what the fuck are you talking about? But anyway, Ben Shapiro, we'll get back to Ben Shapiro, trans people, first person to debate him. I thought this was just awesome. This is just one of the shellackings he got, but this one was one of the worst.
Wow, okay, we're going to take this chair. Look at that.
Hey, Ben.
Like a bro, my friend. All right.
How's it going?
Let's break open
first
beer or
question,
something.
can men get pregnant?
Men cannot get pregnant.
Okay, awesome. So,
Definitionally.
definitionally, okay. Do men experience SA? Sexual assault?
Sure.
Got it. What about the existence of trans men?
What about the existence? Do you mean women who believe that they are men? What are we talking about here? Women experiencing gender dysphoria?
So my other question is, do you benefit from white supremacy in any way, shape, or form?
I'm going to need more specifics on what you mean by white
Well, here, let me give it to you.
Oh, wow.
Sure.
Okay, wait. So, we'll get to the reveal here in a second. This guy has got him cornered on a number of levels, and we haven't really got into it yet, but I want to get into that. Lacey, do you benefit in any way from white supremacy?
That's a hell of a question.
I'm asking, do you in any way benefit from white supremacy?
I mean, I guess I benefit from being white.
Right, but I mean, are you getting like any money from them?
Nobody's sending me any money for anything. No.
That's my point. That's if you were to ask me that question in that situation, do you benefit? Your business benefit from white supremacy? Do you benefit in any way from white supremacy? I'm like, no, I hate those guys. But what is
okay? The truth of the matter is, I wouldn't have fully understood what. In all fairness, I wouldn't have understood exactly what he was asking. Like, are you asking me if I benefit from being white, or are you asking me if somebody's like giving funds to me? You know what I mean?
Well, I clarified it. That's what he's really asking. Do you benefit from it? Right? In any way. You said, yeah, in the sense that I'm white, but not in the sense that I'm one of them or I'm getting anything from them.
Right.
Right? You clarified the answer pretty quickly. Ben Shapiro, can you be more specific? Because he has taken money from Breitbart and other groups who take money from the KKK. So that's what the guy's alluding to, and that's public knowledge. So it's not like, but anyway, it gets better. Watch. Transgender.
Please.
So I'm a transgender man.
Okay.
I've experienced SA.
Okay.
And abortion rights affect me directly. So if we're talking about the American dream that you live, why don't I have access to that? Because there's no legislation, in the history of America, that legislates a man's body. So why does mine have to be legislated? I've got a vagina.
I'm not interested in what your genitalia are.
Clearly you are. I mean, it's all over everything you make, buddy. I'm sorry. I hate to say it to you, but
I think you can read on my face that I radically am not. I think you can read on my face that I radically am not. When we're talking about abortion...
No, I don't. I mean, you can present it here, but in most of the content that you have, you attack my community constantly. And you don't even realize guys like me exist, who actually share a lot of similarities to you and everything, because I'm a married man of 20 years.
I've
got a wife.
I recognize that you exist. I disagree with your claim that you are a male.
Right, so if I was sexually assaulted, right, and I didn't have access to that abortion care, do you believe that I should have carried that child to term because I was sexually assaulted?
I mean...
No, I just want to make sure that that's what you believe. Because as a transgender man, I have seen your side of the entire political debate, never ever having the conversation of what an American freedom is. Because why am I not allowed to live my American freedom as a man? You know, I mean, you get your choice as a man to live and free and all that.
You're really moving around terminology very wildly here.
And so are you, because that's the tactics you play in your game. And you've done it the entire time. You've jumped from one subject to the next. You speak so fast, and I know how you work. So how does it feel to have it in your face?
Oh, well, I mean...
Because I'm sick and tired of the shit that you have put against my community, especially black trans women. Because you constantly disregard all of our needs and then use us politically as a pawn when we're 1% of the population. Why not focus on the economy itself? All of us are struggling, and you want to focus on trans people. You want to focus on a black woman when this is clearly a glass cliff situation. America's falling apart, and let's give it to a woman right when it's all falling apart, when we'd had, 50 men run it and it looks like shit? Look at where we're at. Surely, where do you think that we're heading? I mean, it's so funny to watch white supremacy just fall apart the way that it...
So the real point of this is, it starts out, he thinks it's a guy. It's a transgender man. But once he reveals that, well, what do, Ben? It's one thing to be the safety of the Daily Wire, talking about how these people are sick and weird, but when one is sitting in front of you...
Well, and he also kind of had him into another corner, too, with, it was funny, he pops up, well, I don't care about your genitalia, I can see that his brain goes to, I'm not some kind of pervert who's thinking about you sexually, but he comes back, you spend an awful lot of time being concerned about my genitalia. Clearly you are, and that's like a corner he can't really easily get out of because he's kind of pinned in there.
Yeah, you've spent at least 1,000 hours talking about it on your show. Your whole division, the Daily Wire, you guys have done thousands of hours on trans people. You did a movie making fun of trans people that you guys produced. You guys have done what Matt Walsh is on the Daily Wire has done. He did a documentary on trans people. He's done a couple different things. He did a whole fucking 2-year tour bashing trans people. Ben can't get into it. And then the nice thing is that what Ben does is he tries to, like you said, gish gallop, get past it, change the topic. You know, that's his big tactic, is to gish gallop. Just keep talk. And this guy's seen enough of it because he's a trans woman that he's like, screw it, I'm just going to get up there and do what he does to his face and see how he likes it. And he just gets pissed. I mean, look at his face here. He can't handle it.
Well, again, because he's kind of in a corner that he can't really get out of.
No, he can't wiggle.
Yeah, he really can't wiggle out of that corner. And now we're seeing, you know, where he was kind of going with the benefiting, you know, how did he put the question? Benefiting from white supremacy.
You benefit from white supremacy.
I didn't totally follow the question, but I definitely see now where he was taking it. I was like, what?
Well, that's why all those kids are laughing, because they're good. A lot of them are on YouTube. They know all this. They know who this guy is. That was the thing I think was so stupid about this for him, is all of his shtick is old, and it's not that good, and it's not that original. And it only works when he gets to control the mic and the editing, and he gets to control who speaks. When he doesn't have that, and he actually has to debate somebody, he's worthless.
Right.